Do you want to grow long natural hair just like mine? Then this video is for you. And today I'm going to talk about something maybe you have never heard about. And this is greenhouse effect for maximum hair growth and maximum moisture retention. So I want you to listen to this video up to the end and kindly comment down there below, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please you need to subscribe. So what I'm going to talk about this as I do my daily scalp massage. So just listen to the important information that I'm sharing right here. So let's dive straight in. And you know one thing, stop letting brittle, snapping ends steal your hair growth progress. If your coiled hair feels like straw no matter how much you moisturize, you are missing the secret of the greenhouse effect. So, today we are trapping body heat to force hydration deep into the hair shaft for permanent softness. You have probably oiled your hair, deep conditioned your hair, tried all the hair growth products, but your ends still look thin, dry, or uneven. And every time you comb your hair like you hear that breakage. So that is not a growth problem, that is a moisture retention problem. So now listen from here. The forehair type has a unique structure that makes moisture retention more difficult. So moisture enters the hair but doesn't stay long. Natural oils from the scalp struggle to travel down the strand. Ends becomes dry much faster than roots. So, even if the hair looks moisturized at first, internally it is losing hydration continuously. And so, because of that, now breakage happens. And where does the breakage take place? The breakage happens at the brittle point. The brittle point is the stage where hair has lost too much internal structure, lost elasticity, that is, its ability to stretch and return. So, even if your hair is growing from the roots, it keeps breaking at the brittle points. So, growth is happening, but length is lost. Now, here comes the greenhouse effect, that is the moisture retention hack. Okay, now listen very carefully. The greenhouse effect is a method used to trap moisture and heat within the hair environment. This mimics a humid enclosed system similar to how plants thrive in a greenhouse. What it does biologically is when you cover moisturized hair with a plastic barrier, heat from your scalp is trapped, moisture is prevented from evaporating, and the hair remains in a hydrated state for longer periods. Remember, some hair loses moisture easily due to, like for example, coily hair loses moisture easily due to lifted cuticles. So instead of trying to constantly reapply products, now the greenhouse effect reduces moisture loss in the first place. So think of it like this: without greenhouse effect, moisture escapes quickly. With greenhouse effect, moisture is locked in and recycled. Then hair stays softer for longer, elasticity improves, breakage reduces, and ends survives longer. So when you cover moisturized hair with a plastic cape or nylon, you trap your natural body heat from the scalp. at the same time, you prevent water, that is moisture, from evaporating. So, with the greenhouse effect, thermal energy, that is heat, changes how products behave. Heat softens the cuticle layer. Open cuticles allow moisture to move deeper into the cortex, that is the inner hair layer. So water and conditioning agents penetrate beyond the surface. So that means instead of coating the hair, you are hydrating the internal structure of the hair. Now, this is the reason why this method outperforms the standard deep conditioning method. The standard deep conditioning method is helpful, but it has limitation. So, deep conditioning alone works for a short period, often depends on external heat, that is like a dryer, like the deep conditioning products. Once rinsed, moisture begins to escape again slowly because the environment is not maintained. Now, for the greenhouse effect, now this method goes further because it once maintains continuous hydration. Instead of a one-time treatment, it keeps hair in a hydrated state for hours. 2, it reduces moisture loss. Most of the routines focus on adding moisture, but this method focuses on keeping that moisture inside the hair. Number 3, it improves elasticity over time. Because moisture stays longer, hair becomes more flexible, less prone to snapping. Number 4, it protects the ends. Ends are the hardest part of your hair, the most fragile, and the most likely to dry out. So, it will help to keep them constantly hydrated and they will be able to survive for longer. So now, this is the real difference between the normal deep conditioning and the greenhouse effect. So, the normal deep conditioning, it adds moisture temporarily. For the greenhouse effect, it adds plus traps plus maintains moisture. Normal deep conditioning adds moisture temporarily. Greenhouse effect adds plus traps plus maintains moisture. Having said that, I want us to see the role of the occlusive barrier during heat, that is, during the greenhouse effect. An occlusive barrier is anything that prevents moisture from escaping. So, botanical butters act as occlusives when applied to the hair. So, what happens during the greenhouse effect? When you apply moisture, that is water plus your leave-in, seal with butter, then cover with a plastic, you create 3 layers. That is internal moisture, that is water inside the hair, occlusive barrier, that is butter sealing it in, and then the external barrier, the plastic trapping heat and humidity. You get it? When you use the greenhouse effect, you create those 3 barriers: the internal moisture, occlusive layer, and the external barrier. During the heat cycle, heat from the scalp builds up, moisture tries to evaporate, but the butter locks that escape. So, instead of leaving the hair, the moisture is trapped, recycled, and reabsorbed. Do you get that? Now, this one is a powerful effect because without an occlusive, moisture evaporates quickly, and with an occlusive, moisture stays inside longer and hair remains hydrated for extended periods. And so this method works because it combines the hydration, that is the water, the sealing, that is the butter, and the retention, that is the heat plus the occlusion. So it doesn't just add moisture, but it keeps it where it matters, like it keeps it there. So let me take you step by step how you can practically exercise this greenhouse effect on your hair. So now the goal is trapping heat plus trapping moisture without causing discomfort to your scalp. I'm assuming that you have already washed your hair and you have properly moisturized your hair. How do I mean by moisturizing your hair? That is, you have applied your, let's say you are leave-in, and you have applied your oil and sealed with your butter. So the second thing is you divide your hair into manageable sections. The reason why this matters is to ensure that there is even moisture distribution and prevent some areas from staying dry. Okay, so moisture your hair, section your hair. 3, target every part of that hair and especially your ends. Ensure that you apply some extra moisture and butter to the ends. Also, put your hair into twists or braids, that is chunky twist or braids into section. Then keep the ends compact and protected inside the bag or the nylon or the cape that you are using. I mean a plastic cape or a small nylon plastic bags. That is what I mean. Then you can add a satin scarf or a bonnet to keep the bag in place and to be able to maintain gentle heat. You can do it overnight for intense treatment, or you can do it for minimum 30 minutes. Minimum 30 minutes for light hydration, or optional, you can go for even 2 hours for deep moisture absorption. And you are done. So when you remove your nylon bag, your hair will feel softer and more flexible. It will also feel smooth, not rough. And so you are not going to wash after. No, now you are already done with that process until the next wash day, when you will do that process again. But in between, before your next wash day, because it can be in a period of 1 month, ensure that your hair always stays moisturized. And that's all, guys. If you have watched this video up to the end, comment down there below and tell me that you have learned something new. So if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, guys, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch the video.